Hey, what's up, rock stars? It's Rox, and I am coming to you today with the review for Power Season 5, Episode 4, you guys. So it's Sunday, and you know what that means. Everlasting life, everlasting life. Join in, y'all. Everlasting life is free. I'm so glad Jesus gave it to me. Everlasting life is free. Soon as my feet strike Zion, lay down my heavy burdens, put on my robe in glory, shout, sing, and tell the story. Over the hills and mountains, up to the crystal fountains, all of God's sons and daughters, drinking up the heavenly waters. Soon as the saints of God get together, we gonna have a good time. Everlasting life, hey, everlasting life, everlasting life is free. Amen, amen. Y'all, we like to start off our Sundays with a little bit of devotion, just in case you're new here. If I post a video on Sunday, we're going to give it up to God, okay? Anyway, you guys, enough of that. I feel pretty good because this is the first episode where I actually kind of knew about 95% of the time what was going on. So maybe I'm getting my senses back. Maybe I'm getting my bearings back, because Child Power almost had me so stressed out a couple of weeks ago. I was like, I ain't going to be reviewing this show if it's going to be like this, because I can't be stressed out. I'm getting back to it, starting to know who's who, what's going on. It's making sense to me, so I'm feeling pretty good about it, you guys. So anyway, y'all, let's get to it, shall we? All right, you guys, so Ghost and Kanan meet Tommy. Tommy pulls up, and first thing Kanan says, he knows that Teresi is out. You know, Ghost is like, what? He's like, yeah, but it's no big deal. You know, Tommy don't think it's nothing. But Ghost was like, Kanan, let me talk to Tommy for a second, okay? Kanan was like, I thought we was working together. We are. Just please give us some space. Ghost is like, look, he knows too much about us. I mean, he tried to blackmail me 2 times. Are you crazy? You know, Tommy was like, he wouldn't do that. He's family. Ghost's whole thing is like, what does he know? We cannot be involved with Teresi. If he knows about too much, he is going to take us down. But you know, Tommy is sort of in this, he's never had a family. You know, he had his mom who's all jacked up, and now he's got his dad, and he kind of is torn between the two, okay? Being loyal to Ghost, who Ghost was like, you've known him 15 minutes, okay? I have been your fucking family all your life. So he's torn between his family of Ghost and his family of Teresi. Tommy tells him, trust me, I got it under control. Okay, but Ghost, he's still not really feeling it. He gets a call, so Tommy was like, I'll get Jimenez my all by my damn self. You know, Ghost ain't really got too many words for him. So he goes back and he talks to Kanan. Kanan's like, oh, you want to talk now? It's like, oh, you know, I just had to talk to Tommy about a few things. And Kanan says, well, Tommy did tell me that he was worried that Teresi was going to be like a snitch. Ghost was like, yeah, well, Tommy said he got it under control anyway. We got to do something about Teresi. They know that Tommy is not going to really be one to just want to take him out like that, so they got to do it themselves and without Tommy knowing. So how do we do that? Well, Ghost was like, I got a plan, and that way it'll make Tommy too dangerous for the mob. They'll cut ties with him, and that way Tommy won't get hurt. Okay, but we don't know what the plan is just yet. And in the meantime, Tommy then left Ghost and Kanan and went and, you know, he's with his dad, and his dad is at the cemetery, and, you know, he's talking about, you know, the family of Teresi, okay, really working hard on old Tommy. He got all of their plots. And, you know, he's just saying how it's going to be, you know, him and Connie over there, and how, you know, he's always taking care of the family. And, you know, Tommy is really impressed. All this talk about family, family, family. And even Tommy says that he'll take care of Connie for the rest of her life. I was like, that's a big deal, considering, like Ghost said, you only knew her for 15 minutes. So Tommy takes Teresi to the family. You know, they're giving him this whole welcome back dinner. And Teresi is all, he's full of honor. And he goes up and tells a speech about how he's been in the family for 25 years. And they've always been there for him. And he's glad to be back. The family have taken care of him and Connie and his son, Tommy. I mean, he just really appreciates him. So the family is glad that he's back. But there are whispers. One of the guys talks to somebody else and was like, so you don't think it's strange that he just gets out just like that? And the guy was like, oh, you young, show some respect. He's been in the family for 25 years, never turned his back, never said anything wrong. Okay, but at least a few people in the family have some suspicion. And then back at the federal prosecution, the black bald head guy goes and takes Angie all of the files from the NYPD investigation. They kind of giggling over the fact that they don't have to worry about her any longer. I was like, girl, somebody done told you wrong. Something tell me that old girl is not fixing to let this go. Especially when she saw that Angela Valdez was the person who signed that warrant. You know, Angela is feeling herself right now, but I was like, girl, you best get ready. She takes the files from him and she locks them away, and then she sends Tasha a text message and tells her, you know what, the NYPD case is shut down, okay? And Tasha texts her back, thank you. Then when she's walking to her meeting that she's going to have with her team, she gets a text message from old boy to that same phone. I said, girl, now ain't that the secret phone? That's the whole line. You done gave Tasha and old boy the same whole line number. He says, you know, I can't stop thinking about last night. And, you know, she just smirking like, oh, Angela's on top of cloud nine, honey. She about to break this case. She got her man. She done got the shit closed down. Yeah, Angie is on it. So anyway, she goes and meets with her team. She tells the team that they got the application for the warrants out for everybody's arrest, but they don't know where they are. As far as they know, they may or may not even be in the United States. Well, they don't have any record that they've left, so they're believing that they're still in New York City. Okay, well, Angie says, well, she got word that Arturo is the new lead of the Todos Locos, and he would know their whereabouts. Okay, so we gonna get him and trip the nigga up and get him to tell us where they are. Speaking of the Jimenez brother / sister, okay, Alicia is at the club and she's talking to Dre, kind of all over him. You know, Dre real nervous, all right? She real close up. I was like, bitch, back up. Damn, can a nigga get a little space? Anyway, he's telling her that they having some problems with the books, okay? Well, what's the problem, and give it to me straight, okay? Alicia ain't got too much time for, you know, no bullshit. And he was like, well, your brother is drinking us out of house and home, and then drank up and, you know, $60,000 worth of alcohol and other essentials, I suppose, and he done terrorized the damn bottle girls. Don't nobody want to serve him, and he just been a whole lot, and it's just gonna get worse if he keep on going. And she was just like, oh, okay, well, you know what, I'm gonna take care of it. I'm gonna give you some instructions later. Stand by. Now, Ghost and Tasha's supposed to go to this fundraiser that night. Ghost goes home and finds Tasha knocked out in bed, honey. Tasha then took her some pills, some nerve pills, just so she can get some damn rest around there. You know, Ghost wake her up like, what's this? And she's like, oh, the doctor gave me some pills. He was like, no, you got to get up. Remember, we got this fundraiser we got to go to tonight. And she was just like, James, I can't do it today. I'm tired. I cannot fake being the perfect wife today. And he was just like, well, fine, I'll raise the money for our daughter's legacy ourselves. And she was just like, don't you do this to me, okay? Don't be trying to act like you the only one that cares about our daughter's legacy. And he was just like, no, it's not that you don't care, it's that you selfish. I said, ain't this about a bitch? Did he just really call her selfish, you guys? I was sitting there looking like, oh, James, so you gonna get back to us really hating you again. Oh, okay, I see how that go. So, you know, later on that evening, Ghost is at the club. He's got all of the who's, I guess, that's there. You know, Councilman Tate runs up to him and was like, hey, where's Tasha? And he was like, well, Tasha couldn't make it. And then that's when Councilman Tate was just like, oh, well, you know what? Maybe I'm gonna handle the presentation and you go on and just do your club thing. Okay, you know, Ghost does not like to be dismissed. Ghost is looking at him like, no, I can handle it. And he was like, no, I'm telling you, just let me do it. Let me work the room. Let me get in these people's ears and get in their pockets. Well, Ghost does not want to do that. Nobody steps in on his project. So while Councilman Tate is trying to talk to everybody, Ghost gets up on stage and was just like, hey, you know, thanks everybody for coming. You guys know that I'm here because I want to make a difference in my neighborhood. He's giving this whole speech to the who's that are there. And some black girl in the audience turns around and looks up at him, and he thinks that it's Raina. He thinks that it's Raina so much that he stops talking and he is just looking. And he finally has to go and check and see. And he goes, rushes down into the crowd. He rushes up to the girl and he turns her around, and it's not Raina, of course. Okay. And then he's just standing there. And his eyes, I shouldn't laugh because it wasn't funny, but it was only funny because Councilman Tate told your ass, let you handle it. Okay. Now you didn't sat up here and made yourself look crazy. Everybody that's there, they kind of back up into like a circle and they all looking at him like, and he just standing there, eyes watering. I said, oh, Lord, Ghost, you picked the absolute wrong time to have a breakdown. So, James, I guess he take it on home. What else can he do? It's the next day. It looked like he been drinking all night. He gets a call from the accountant that's in charge of this project that he has with Councilman Tate. And the accountant tells him, look, we didn't raise enough money yesterday. And Ghost says, well, how much did we get? He said about 40%. That's not enough. We might have to close the whole project. And Ghost was like, no, I got some private money that might be coming in soon, so I'm going to call you back later. So, Ghost looking real disheveled. Brother man is looking mighty low, and Tasha comes in. Okay, well, how did it go last night? He tells Tasha, I saw Raina. And she was like, I see her all the time. So he tells her how he went into the crowd to get her and that she really is gone. He's telling Tasha how he messed up the speech. But then the nigga had the nerve to Jedi mind trick her and was like, and I messed up the speech because it was your speech. And if you would have been there, none of that would have happened. And then he go rushing out the room and Tasha just looking at him like, what? Ain't this about... I'm telling you, I was just like, okay, James, now I know your daughter is dead, and that's the only reason why we gonna give you a semi-pass, because, nigga, you was tripping real hard. I forgot that James could be this much of an asshole. We haven't seen this side of him in a while. So Tasha done had it, okay? She talking to her mama. Her mama's in the kitchen with her, and Tasha was just like, I'm just sick of this. I'm ready to leave. I don't even know who Ghost is anymore. Tasha want a do-over. And the mama's like, are you sure that you want to leave because you just tired of Ghost, or is it because of an old boy that you was hugged up on in the hallway? Who is he anyway? And Tasha was just like, oh, don't worry about him. That has nothing to do with this. This is about Ghost. I was like, yeah, it mostly is about Ghost, but maybe a little smidgen about Terry. And speaking of Terry Silva, Tasha goes to see him. And Terry wants her to move. I was like, move with him? How crazy would that be? Was he suggesting that she move with him, you guys? Did I hear that right? I was just like, you are so stupid if you do that, okay? But I don't think that she wouldn't move her child in with another man. But anyway, he's telling her that he got called in on the ethics case for Proctor, and that first chair Mock, he got it out for Proctor. And if you bring Proctor down, you're going to bring everybody else down. So you best get clear, okay? You need to get as far away from Ghost as you can. And he told us last week that he's never compromised his ethics for an innocent client. Oh, what a difference a day makes. Now, Ghost, since he done made a mess of this whole project, and Councilman Tate is very determined to get this project off the ground, he decides to bring Dre in on the project. Tells Dre that he wants him to be the face of it. And Dre is like, yeah, I don't really think that James would want me to be on this project. We done had some disagreements lately. And Councilman Tate was like, oh, you know what, if he is truly for the advancement of the community, then he won't have any problem with any of this, okay? All of this is because we are trying to make the community better. Dre don't believe it. Dre looking around, seeing Councilman Tate's ambitions as a politician, and he ain't really feeling it. So he tells him, yeah, I'm not wanting to do this. That's all right. And Councilman Tate tells him, don't you want friends in high places? And Dre was like, nope, I got enough friends. He's about to leave, and Councilman Tate says, hey, Dre, don't ever underestimate the power of a good public image. Okay, put a little bit on his head to think about. Now, we see Proctor. He's at home with his daughter, and who should bust in but his ex-wife, baby mama, whatever you want to call her. Okay, and she's all like, hey, baby mommy's back. Okay, 30 days sober. I'm about to get my law license, and you know what? You're going to move back in with me. Don't you think that would be great? Okay, the daughter don't know what to make of it, and Proctor is looking at her like, how dare you just bust in here and tell my daughter some stuff like this? So he pulled it to the side and says, you know what? You cannot do that. Even though 30 days is something to be proud of, you can't come in here and saying that you're gonna get her. And the mother is just like, oh, so you so perfect, aren't you the one that's about to lose your damn law license? He was like, don't you worry about me, okay, because that is not going to happen, and I am never going to lose custody of my daughter. But when she leaves, Proctor is a little concerned about Teresi. He actually opens up his briefcase and pulls some paperwork out that has Anthony Teresi's name on it. And then he texts Ghost and says, we need to meet. We need to talk about somebody. So when they meet to talk, Proctor's like, did you know that Teresi was out? And he was like, no, I didn't know. When did you find out? And I just found out. And Jay's like, you have just found out, lie, nigga. Tommy told me. He told you a long time ago. Why are you just telling me now? Proctor was like, look, excuse me if I want to kind of tiptoe around Tommy's crazy ass. He did just kill, old Markham in my damn house not too long ago. Anyways, he tells Ghost that first chair is on the case. Ghost was like, God, he just keep on coming around like this is not good. Proctor was like, yeah, it's not good at all. And if, you got to make sure that Teresi don't know nothing about you guys' business, because if he does, you guys are going to end up going to jail. And Ghost had the nerve to get mad at him. Oh, you only want to protect yourself. You're not trying to protect. It don't matter who trying to protect who at this point. Damn it, you guys are all in it together. And you better be glad that Proctor's even telling you this. And he gonna sit up there and get mad at Proctor for Proctor trying to put him up on game. And I was just like, what the fuck is going on with Ghost? Okay, Ghost, you losing it. You cannot afford to make enemies out of anybody at this point. You need all the help you can take. Proctor tells him, look, you can't be into no illegal shit, especially with Tommy. Keep your nose clean. I said, child, this is a mess. Now it's the next day. Tommy is leaving Teresi's. He gets a call and he got to rush off. Teresi, is it anything I can help you with? No, I got it. I was like, if you don't realize that Teresi keep on asking you about your business, please be smart, Tommy. Don't let this family thing blind you. Back at the federal prosecution, they got Arturo Magdaleno. They are interrogating him, Angie and the other Latino guy. They tell him that they can get him on some kingpin law and that he can actually get life, the death penalty, because now he's the head of the Todos Locos. Dre working with Arturo and him being weak has backfired because Arturo is going to break. He's going to melt like butter in them people's hand, okay? They give him a little quick countdown. Okay, give us the information or you going to jail. And it was like 1, 2, 3. All right, that's it. Okay, and that's when he's like, wait a minute. And he tells them how Alicia Jimenez is leaving that day and that Diego's probably leaving next week. And so the Jimenez are at the airport hangar. Cristobal brings Dre there. He was like, so she told you to bring me here? And he was like, yeah, she told me to bring you here. So Dre meets the Jimenez brother and sister. She was like, okay, Diego, what do you have? And Diego hands him a bag. Dre was like, and what's this? He says it's $50,000 to cover his tab at the club. And then she tells Diego, and what else do you have to say? And he says, and I am sorry. And I was like, oh, what is this? So the sister is the number one and Diego is the number 2. I'm trying to figure out how long he gonna let Dre get away with, being a favorite of his sisters, so to speak. But anyway, she was like, okay, well, now that that's done, she tells Dre, look, I want you to teach Cristobal the books at the club so he can know how it goes. And Dre was like, no, that's not necessary. And she was like, yes, it is. And when the Jimenez people say yes, it is, then yes, it is. And that's the end of that conversation. So she's about to get on her plane and Dre and Cristobal are about to leave. We see Tommy looking from afar. I was like, now how you right there, you got this loud blue Mustang and you just right through the gate and nobody noticed you. I was just like, yeah, not okay, all right, it's a TV show. Anyway, he gets in his car and leaves. Dre is mad, like, what the fuck was that about? Talking to Cristobal as they're walking back to their car. Cristobal was like, I don't know, I didn't know nothing about it. Cristobal is just playing his part, because I think Cristobal probably hadn't realized that eventually he might have control of a little bit more, even more than Dre. Anyway, they get back in their car and they leaving, and right when they driving out, they pass up Angie and her team coming in they big old trucks. They pull up and they arrest Alicia and Diego Jimenez. Diego takes his gun out of his clothes and ends up putting it in one of the guards that was there with him in his jacket or in his pants. And, the feds are like, Jimenez, brother and sister, you guys are arrested for murder, drug trafficking, racketeering, and conspiracy. Angela is almost orgasmic. She is so proud of herself. Okay, so they go back to the office and, everybody's like, y'all did that. Even First Chair John has something nice to say. I've been on this for a long time, but you actually did it. Will, don't give her flowers just yet, because in walks Steve Campion. The one that she was just having her tryst with last week. Okay, he walk in just as smooth, just as clean. You know, he was like Steve Tampion, DEA. And she was like, Steve, what are you doing here? And he was like, I'm here to talk to Alicia Jimenez, get to interrogate her and make sure that nobody is recording me. And Angie was like, wait a minute, what's going on with Tamika? Don't nobody know what the hell going on. But Steve Tampion goes up in there, and honey, Alicia ain't worried about it. Because Alicia tells him that she pretty much run everything. They are too big and too powerful to get pulled down. Steve tells her as much as he would love to arrest her right now, he's been given orders from higher ups to let them go. And she was just like, well, I mean, if you must take one of us, then go on and take my damn brother, okay? Because the brother's a liability. Like I said, he'll fuck up, so she about ready for him to go anyway. What better way? She ain't got to kill him. That is her blood, but what better way if he gets caught up in the legal system? He was like, oh, don't be trying to use us to get rid of your damn brother. If you want him gone, you're going to have to do that yourself. And then afterwards, Steve Tampion goes and tells Angela and Tamika that just leave it alone, okay? That this is way above their pay grade, this whole case. So just go on and focus on your other cases. But Angela was like, hell no. I've been working hard on this. This was my big case. And you come in here and do this? Did you use me? Was any of that real? Okay, I was like, girl, you're not having feelings right now. Bitch, that don't matter. You should know that he at least took advantage of your dumb ass, okay? And he was just like, oh, I still can't stop thinking about that. I said, nigga, you gonna stay smooth to the end, honey. That's a real player for that ass. Even lie when you ain't got to. When they get in the car and we see Diego and Alicia, this was the one part that this was part of that 5% that I was confused on. She tells him that the reason why the feds found them is because he left his gold gun behind in the warehouse. But I was like, did he leave his gun behind in the warehouse? Because I thought I saw him put his gun in his people's waistband. So I was just like, wait a minute, I missed something. So y'all clarify. Was she just talking and making up shit, or was that the case and I missed something? Y'all let me know. Anyway, she tells him to cut this shit out with Dre. Diego don't even understand why they got to deal with Dre, but she was like, Dre is helping us expand our business. Okay, so we need him. So you need to quit tripping. And then she tells him, you ruin everything that you touch. I was just like, yeah, it ain't nothing worse than having an old fuck up brother sister. Now, Dre tells Cristobal that they just gonna shut everything down for now until everything cool off. And Cristobal was like, no, we can't shut everything down. And anyway, you know what? If Ghost and Kanan and Tommy find out that they took the Jimenez people in, you know, that's really gonna be our ass. Dre says that they might be in the clear. If the DEA, if the feds really wanted them, they would have got them by now. They wanted the big fish, which was the Jimenez family. So they got them. We can keep on going with everything that's going on right now. Just chill. Proctor about to have a whole heap of problems because the feds show up at his house. He's there with his daughter and they have a search warrant. Markham, the one that got killed by Tommy last season, this was his last known whereabouts. So they want to search to make sure there was no crime happening in Proctor's house. The daughter is like, well, what are they here for? What are they looking for? And Proctor says, I don't know, but Proctor knows. And Proctor is pissed. So he goes out on the streets and he finds First Chair, an overly dedicated committee member. He was like, you guys have your nerve having this warrant sent to my house. First Chair is kind of just like, oh, well, I mean, if you innocent, then you shouldn't have nothing to worry about. But if my crime people do find anything in your house, then you sure best be worried. Proctor was like, you ain't gonna find nothing, and if you keep on fucking with me, then I'm gonna file harassment charges. And he rushes off. Overly dedicated was like, we not gonna let up on him. And First Chair was like, oh no, absolutely not, because Proctor is the key to bringing everybody down. Now remember I was talking about NYPD old girl not letting it go? No, she ain't gonna let it go. Okay, she's talking to this black guy who has been suspended from some job. And at first I was just like, what is this? Who is he? What are they talking about? Something about a passport. This was another part of that 5% where I was confused. But it sort of started to make sense once I saw that black guy was working actually with Kanan. And Kanan has that black guy and another guy. They setting up a drive-by. It's not going to be a real drive-by. So Kanan gives them blanks and says to just shoot at Vincent and Tommy because Kanan is trying to get contact with Tommy's Connect. So he gives them the blanks, and they was like, blanks? What's this about? It's supposed to be a drive-by. He's like, nigga, it's just the act, okay? Just put the damn bullets in there and go on and shoot at them so I can do what I need to do. Jumping back over to James and Tasha, James comes home and he sees that there's some shit gathered up in the living room, like they about to bounce, and Tasha's mom was like, please, Ghost, don't make this any worse than it is. He goes and finds Tasha, and he was like, what you doing? And she was like, I'm leaving, I got to go. I done had enough. This shit is fucked up around here. You not dealing with your daughter's death. You shutting everybody out. I can't do it anymore. And he was like, oh, so you running out on me? And she was just like, nigga, you left me and this family a long time ago, okay? Remember that one day when old girl walked into the club and our lives was changed forever? You got the nerve to say that I'm leaving you? I want out of this damn penthouse and out of this marriage. And he was like, fine, I don't need you. I don't need nobody. I got my kids. She's like, oh no, baby, I got my kids. All you got is you. So later on, James goes to meet with Councilman Tate and the board, and when he gets in the room, Dre is there. That damn James looked like he done saw a ghost. Okay, Ghost seeing a ghost. He wants to kill Dre. And Dre was like, hey, James, I'm so glad to be working with you. Thank you so much for the opportunity. He gives him this whole ass-kissing speech, okay, about how he gonna work with James and they gonna get the community back and all of this in front of the board. And, the board is watching and clapping and Councilman Tate is smiling. And James was like, oh, okay, so yeah, all right. It's good to see you too, Dre. And he look at Councilman Tate and he says, and trust me, I'll never forget this. If anything, Ghost is gonna kill Councilman Tate. Councilman Tate is only good for one season, y'all. Now, the drive-by that Kanan set up with the fools, the shit gets botched because they decide to change out the blanks and put in real bullets. We ain't no suckers. We ain't fixing to be shooting no blanks. What's the purpose of a drive-by? Just stupid. So they changed the damn bullets, and we see Tommy and Vincent and some of their boys coming out of the place. What is it called? Donnie's or something like that. And they start shooting. Well, Kanan is watching from his car from afar, and he's seeing that it's actual bullets, okay? They about to kill Tommy and Vincent. Nigga, this is not what I told y'all stupid asses to do. So now Kanan got to jump in, okay? He goes and shoots up the car with his two boys that was working for him. When Tommy sees him, Vincent's about to shoot Kanan, and then Tommy's like, no, that's my boy, and he stops him. Kanan has saved their lives, so that has at least warrants a drink with Vincent, right? So Kanan sits down with Vincent, and Vincent just wants to know about Tommy. I'm like, how you know him, what you know about him, and Kanan's like, I ain't no snitch, but I was like, you is whatever you need to be at the time. Stop it. Well, Vincent want to know who those guys were. Kanan says, well, those were some dope boys, and they was just trying to even the score. Now, back at Teresi's house, he gets a call, and his first chair, John was like, I just want to make sure that you remember that we working together. And Teresi was like, I'm still working on it, but I gotta go. And while he's on the phone whispering with old first chair, John, his wife Connie overhears that. Who is that on the phone? He's like, oh, baby, it was the wrong number. And she was just like, okay, now just explain to me exactly why they let you out so fast and early like this. Like, what's happening here? Why would they just let you out? And he was like, what, you not happy to see me? She was like, nigga, don't even start it, okay? You gonna tell me what's going on? I don't know what's happening. I just got a bad feeling about all of this. And he was like, well, the reason they let me out is because, they wanted information on Tommy. And she was like, so you a snitch? And he was like, no, I'm not a snitch. I'm not snitching on the family. I'm just telling them about Tommy. And she was like, look, they didn't let you out. The family is not gonna care who the hell you snitching on if they find out. Okay, it's gonna be over for you and probably for me too. Shit. He says, don't worry about it because the family is never gonna find out about it. While he's talking to Connie, there's a knock at the door, frantic. Okay, he goes to the door. It's Tommy. Why haven't you answered your phone? Well, because he trying to explain to his girl why he's snitching on your ass. Anyway, Tommy comes in, says that they was shot at, attacked when they came out of Donnie's. And no, not Donnie's, Monty's. I got it on my phone here, Donnie. And he don't really know exactly what it's about. And Teresi was like, you sure it ain't with that other business that you got with Vincent? And Tommy is hesitant to say anything to Teresi. And Teresi was like, I don't know why you don't trust me. Let me help you. While he says that, he gets a phone call and it's from Ghost. All right, but he ignores the call. And then we see Ghost getting home to an empty penthouse. It's dark. It's cold. Nobody is there. And he is leaving Tommy a voicemail message. Hey, we got a new problem with Dre. Give me a call back. He hangs up the phone. He sees his daughter's little toy. He picks it up. He, about to have a full breakdown. And then he finally gets the call that he was waiting for. He was like, oh, thanks for calling. Where do you want to meet? And of course, we already knew who it was. They meet in this cafe. Angela Valdez. You can tell that there's almost relief that these two are finally seeing each other. A whole lot of shit has happened since the last time, right? She's like, well, this is different. He was like, yeah. He asked her how she's doing. Is she okay? She says no. She asked him if he's okay. Well, we know he ain't okay. And while they just kind of staring at each other, and the waitress comes up and she says, do you guys know what you want? And then they both just look at each other. I said, bitch, I know what they want. I don't care what you say. Honey, that heart, that love sometimes will never change no matter what has happened. And those two are evidence of that. So actually, it was a great ending. I actually like that. I know a lot of people are going to be annoyed because everybody hates Angela and James. But hey, it is what it is. The two love each other. That will never go away. What did you guys think about this episode? Like I said, I understood it, so I felt a whole lot better. All right, you guys, that's it. I'm about to go see The Equalizer 2. So I got to get off of here and get myself together. You guys make sure that you rate, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I'm itsrox. The channel is for itsrox, and everything else I do will be in the bottom bar. All right. So I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day, and I plan on doing the same. Until next time, rock stars. Bye.